16 episodes. That's how long it took to roughly finish the Gardens of Bughylon. This is probably the last episode of the Gardens of Bughylon, because the next episode will be a full overview of the roller coaster that we're building now. I'm not going to spend another episode on building this roller coaster because it's literally almost done, and all I need to do is build a little bit of track. So the next video will be a complete overview of the cult coaster, and then after that we'll start building a new area in Bughy Wughy Wonderland. I'm so excited to start this new area because over the last probably 9 months we've built this park so incredibly detailed, and it's really good for me to move on because I've pretty much been building the same theme for 9 months now, and I'm really keen to move forward and start with a new theme. In the meantime, in the background you can see me building the start of this tower that we're going to build. It is going to be some kind of cult tower, and I think it would look really cool and blends in really nice in the environment. If you want to see how we made this area that we're building now, go and check out the top right corner now, and you can see a link to the previous episode, which I highly recommend watching because it is a banger. Now let's see what the bottom part of the tower looks like. Here is the snap build. For the top section of the tower, all we really do is just extend the tower upwards. No shit, Book! Oh my god! Oh, this guy is crazy. I'm pretty much building the whole tower on an animation piece. And this way I can turn on rotational, duplication, flamingation. What? And it just allows me to build the tower from all angles and saving some pieces as well. It's really handy, highly recommend. And then I had a little side quest, so I built the side tower. Super easy. Oh my god, what the hell. And then obviously we needed a roof, and I decided to go with this type of roof. It looks really cool, and it's kind of, I guess, culty? I don't know. But it blends well together with the tower, so I was really happy with it. And obviously, what is a cult tower without the cult sign? So we brought over the cult sign, and now the cult tower has a cult sign. Oh, such logic. But Book, what does it look like? It now looks like this. It's starting to come together really nice now, and I'm super happy with how this is turning out so far. The thing that we're going to do next is make the tower ready for the roller coaster to pass through. Obviously in the previous episode we've already built the track, but still there's a lot of adjusting to do to make the tower ready for the coaster and for the coaster track to go backwards through the tower as well. It's all a bit cramped and it just needs a little bit of adjusting, which is what I'm doing right here. After adjusting the tower for a little bit, it was time to build a little bit of coaster. Now the track that I'm building here is the track that the coaster will go over backwards. So it will go all the way over through the corkscrew in the tower. Just make sure you check out the previous episode to see what I mean. And then it will go backwards here, but obviously we had to destroy half of the tower and blend it in with the terrain, and obviously we need to make some room for the coaster track as well. So that's what I'm just doing here. I'm placing down some foundational building pieces, remove some bricks, and empty out the terrain so that I can build the coaster to go on the ground here. I only placed down a piece or two, and I decided to just blend the coaster track in first with the environment. So I'm just building a little bit of a fencing here. It's getting really complicated and tricky to build because obviously this area is already finished, and I have to manipulate it in a way so that it blends in and without destroying the already existing theming. So I'm just extending the tower here, making these half arch looking covers that you can see here, which is really cool looking. And then just put some details on, and this is kind of what it looks like now. And that's another big section done. It's looking great so far. Now let's continue on the cliffhanger, which is where we stopped on the previous episode. The coaster comes up and is put onto a hold last section here, which I will change later in a bit, but it doesn't look like it yet. And I wanted to build the track and make it look like it's broken. So I'm just using basic shapes here to make it look like the track is broken. So I'm just simply adding these pieces and then doing something like this, and it's looking pretty nice. Just a little special effect. I then supported the roller coaster that comes up from the tower to go upwards towards the cliffhanger. I just call it the cliffhanger because it hangs over a cliff. Oh my god, book logic! I made that joke in the previous episode as well. Oh my god, I'm running out of jokes. Once that's in place, I used a fountain which I turned around 360 majiggers, and the bottom looks really nice. The texture is really old looking stone. I was really happy with how this turned out. It blends in really nicely with the coaster, and then I just cover the sides a little bit with some rocks. Now the whole idea for this cliffhanger is to have a little bit of a show. Not too long, because the coaster hangs there, and I want them to have a really cool view from the coaster on this little platform, where in the start of the coaster you summon Bughy, which is King Bughuul, which is the ancient ruler of the Gardens of Bughylon, and he's summoned, so he creeps around this roller coaster a little bit. And here you can see a little platform where there will be some wizards standing here and a portal, and King Bughuul will be doing some arm movements and then give you a jump scare while the coaster is waiting. It's gonna be really cool. You have to wait and see what it looks like. So I'm placing down the portal here and just started to decorate it. And this is kind of what the little platform looks like. Super stoked with how this turned out. Now here you see the coaster at the bottom of the screen, and it's looking out over the valley in the temple, all the way onto this platform that you see here. And there you can see King Bughuul soon doing some tricks. And to be able to do tricks, we obviously need to animate it.
Oh my god! I've never thought about that before! I thought that but this is... what?
Oh. Help save me from myself. I'm my own worst enemy and I'm not making it easy for myself. Oh well, let's build the arms of King Bughuul and make sure that every joint is animated. Here you can see the arms of King Bughuul being animated by me. Whoa, great content. After animating his joints and allowing him to raise both his hands and his staff, we chucked him down on the platform with his summoners, which is pretty cool. It almost looks like League of Legends. We're summoning him, the summoners. If you know what I mean, if you have played League of Legends. I used to. I can't believe I used to play that game. Oh my god. There were some of the darkest days in my life. I placed down a stop launch section here, which will launch the coaster or stop the coaster and then launch it backwards. So it's got just a little bit more speed, and I can control how long the coaster stays there to look out over the show. Here you can kind of see the general movement of him. It looks a little bit weird. I change that later, don't worry. But yeah, he can raise his arms and move his joints, which is pretty cool. And here in the back you can see the animation pieces being hidden pretty much behind these magic column looking thingies. Yeah, objects. The idea that I had was for King Bughuul to be on the platform doing his shaglebangies, waving his arms around and being weird like I am. And then all of a sudden disappear and appear right in front of the coaster to give a jump scare. So I'm just animating King Bughuul here that jumps up in front of the coaster and then having the jump scare like this. Really cool. Super stoked to show you guys what it looks like. It is really cool. I also obviously have to make sure that the triggers are correct. So I'm placing down all the trigger points and making sure that they're all programmed and timed accordingly. So that it's all lined up and one smooth, brilliant show by King Bughuul. It is just amazing.
Oh my god!
So this is kind of what it looks like. He comes up with his arms and then does a jump scare. It looks pretty cool. It's so much better when you're on the coaster, I promise. The last little thing left to do was obviously decorate everything. Put down some plants and rocks and blend the track in with the environment. Not much to see here, and I know this is not the most entertaining thing, so let's skip ahead and continue building. The tower needed a little bit of a pimp my tower, or pimp my ride, but then pimp my tower. So I'm bringing back the gardens, which are on top of the building as well, to blend the whole thing together and not make it look boring. I'm simply putting down dirt and chucking down some plants, so not very exciting, but here is what it looks like. I then started building on the inside of the building where the coaster passes through. So this is the room just before it goes up to the cliffhanger area. All I'm simply doing here is placing down some beams and elevating the flooring a little bit. Yeah, this is what it looks like. Not very exciting, so let's just go to the snap build. Now all I was left to do is just decorating this room with some cultish items. So obviously the symbol cannot be missed. It's the sign of bad things are gonna happen. Holy crap. Don't go where this sign is. After that was done, we just placed down some graves and some candles. And then decorated with the contents of my kitchen. What?
Book, do you have this crap in your kitchen?
No, not in real life, but yeah. I got lots of pots and pans in real life though. Although these are just... what am I talking about? Here is the snap build. Oh my god. Oh yeah, I also turned this place into the red light district. Here's the snap build. Obviously I've done one side now, but there's two sides to the towers. So I also changed the outside on the left side. And this is what it looks like after putting down some plants. And here I have to ask you for mercy, because I forgot to record the decoration of the entrance of the other tower piece. But yeah, here's the snap build. Sorry about that. I literally just placed down some pots and pans and some rotation things. Finally, some time to do a little bit of coaster building. We're continuing the track that we're ending up with just before. So just keep in mind this coaster is now going backwards, because it rolls backwards from the cliffhanger area. So I'm bringing the coaster up here to make it go over this area here. But then I wasn't quite happy with it, so I kind of readjusted it a little bit. And now it just comes up on the side. You just have to do a little bit of digging and moving away some plants and such, just so that there's room and I can adjust the terrain so that the coaster isn't clipping through the rocks. Whoa, that was a complicated explanation. Let's look at the snap build of what it looks like.
Oh my god, Book! That was the worst snap build I've ever seen in my life! Oh my...
Oh, I love really loud sounds. For some reason, I just find it so funny. I don't know why. Anyway, we just continue building the roller coaster here. Keep in mind, it's still going backwards. And all I'm doing here, just making a little bit of a platform with some block breaks so that I can control the speed before it goes into hell. It's going into hell. You'll see. Yeah, I forgot to build the snap build for this, so oh well. This is kind of what it looks like. Now let me tell you about the idea that I had. I really wanted to have a last show or a sequence to conclude the summoning of King Bughuul. So obviously he needed to go back into his portal, and what it looks like now is that he's pretty much murdered the cult. You'll see here soon. So I needed to create a sequence or a trigger sequence where he comes out in all his power and glory and then destroys the cult. And then I really wanted him to manipulate terrain. So I had a lot of animation stuff to do and animations to make. But obviously I had to get either a trick track or a rotation table or something in place here. I ended up going for a switch track, which you see me placing down here. But why is there such a big concrete block underneath? Oh, it's so good. So much better when it's done. Now you see me building it up high here because I wanted it to stall, as you can see there. And then come back forwards to get out of there. But that didn't give me enough time to create the scene that I wanted to create. So now it looks something like this. And this is so much better. So the coaster arrives backwards through the portal, goes onto a hold section slightly higher, as you can see. The switch track changes. Obviously there's lots of things happening now. And then the coaster is released and escapes the scene. This way I've got a lot more control on what I wanted to do with the scene. So I was very happy with this. So yeah, let's continue. Now I wanted to build a pool that fills with blood, because there's gonna be lots of blood. And I wanted to animate it, so I thought it would be really cool. So here I'm building one of the circles using a rotation piece. And then simply place it down, and this is gonna be the foundation of my pool of blood. How nice. Obviously it isn't a pool of blood if there's no blood. So here's the blood. After placing down the blood, I place down a couple of rocks and blend the terrain a bit together. It looks really nice. These statues here as well look really cool. Here is the snap build for this section. Now the next wee while is gonna be all about programming the show. Obviously I needed a portal, and I'm using the same portal that I've used throughout this build. So it's hidden, and when the coaster goes through, the portal appears. Here I'm building arm movements for King Bughuul, and different arm movements. I wanted it to be faster because I want it to look like when he lifts up his left arm to summon terrain on the left side of him, and when he lifts up his right arm, that terrain appears on the right side of him. I think it will look really cool. So every joint is being attached to a movement piece, as you can see here, and then all the pieces together. It's really hard to stack the animation pieces, but here you can see me trying to find the right angle for every piece. The only annoying thing is all these rotators behind King Bughuul. I later on found out that I couldn't really get them to align with each joint the way that it currently is, so I had to place something behind King Bughuul to hide these rotors. So I'm placing down a sign later on, but you can see. But yeah, so this is kind of what it looks like when he like moves his arm. I think it looks pretty cool. After that was done, I put it on one of these radial pieces so that it looks like he's floating a little bit. But later on I just deactivated, because how cool would it be if it just is idle. And now he's moving. I'm putting on the horizontal piece. And obviously everything needs to be programmed as well. So these are just the basic animations. After that was done, I created a hiding horizontal movement piece sequence, which was designed by Taggy3D. Shout out to Taggy3D. And so this piece is making sure that he is hidden the whole time, and then I can make him pop up whenever I want. So I'm programming the whole sequence here, and it's just boring, but yeah. So here we go back to the scene, and I'm putting all the sequences for each movement that I've programmed just here now. And it's just gets really complicated, so I highly recommend using a master sequencer, which is the one all the way at the front that you can see, and using that one to trigger and animate every single aspect of the show. So yeah. The blood panel that comes up is then also animated, and I wanted these fountains to cry blood. So the fountains will be crying blood, which I'll be making later on as well, which you'll see too, and then that will fill up the pool. And I think that would just looks really cool when you go over it with the roller coaster. Now that the blood panel was installed, all I needed to do is make the fountains cry blood. And I found out that you can just simply color water effects, which is super handy. And this way we can trigger blood coming from the eyes of the statues, flowing down the sides of the statues into the pool, filling up the pool with blood, and it will just look really cool. So yeah, I did that with both statues, and this is what it looks like after programming. So the coaster arrives, it goes all the way to the back. The statues start crying, King Bughuul comes at you, the pool fills with blood, and then he gets pulled back into the portal, disappears, and then the coaster goes out of the scene. Just before I was talking about having King Bughuul summon terrain. That's what I'm working on here. I've got these, I created the backdrop with these sorcery item rocks looking thingy majiggers, and I attached them to a moving platform that hides the rocks underground, and then when he moves forward it brings up the rocks and it just looks like he's summoning terrain. It's really cool. So if you want to see what it looks like, stick around. I guess it's time for us to jump in the park and check out what we've made and conclude this episode in Bughy Wughy Wonderland. So, let's jump in! Alright, here we are once again in Bughy Wughy Wonderland. And we've done a fair bit of expanding in this episode. I'm just gonna show you all the stuff that we made in this episode. And obviously give you a coaster on ride, because you guys must be super stoked to this section here. So here you've got the big tower that we built. I'm super happy with how this turned out. Look at this. It's so cozy, and I could just go through and nicely integrated with the terrain, and obviously keeping the cult theme. And here we've got the cult show and what we built on this in this video. Here we got the unfortunate guy. Oh well, it's only Bob, it's fine. So yeah, that's all tucked in the mountainside here. I'll probably chuck a couple of trees here so you don't see it as much. I've already done some of that, but I think the whole cult tower and stuff blends in really well with the environment, as you can see. And obviously the tower is done. And we've got a little section here and the portal there. Again, you can't really see it. If you pay really close attention, you can see it a little bit. And obviously like you can see the tower, but that's kind of the idea that I had. I really wanted to be like a towering tower. Get it? Towering tower. Anyway, so let's go. I just closed the ride, so all these people are coming off. I quickly connected to the station to get some guests in the coaster for a thumbnail, which will be really cool. So obviously here we've got you know, the cult coaster. And I had a couple of issues with the roller coaster, because if you look inside here, this rotation piece, I had used the rotation piece that launched it forwards, but because I put the amount of times passing on 2, it didn't reset, so it didn't allow guests to go on, because this rotation platform didn't reset. And it happened with this one, but it also happened with... obviously we can have a look through here as well. This looks really cool now as well. Look at this. But yeah, this also happened with this... what do you call it? Switch track. And also with this switch track up here. Which is really frustrating. So I had to completely redo the track here. And then on all the points to make sure that it's all nice and smooth. But it looks really cool now. So I reckon we're just gonna jump on the ride. And I'll show you the on-ride. Yeah, wait, look at this. There's another coaster coming through. So much detail. I'm so happy with this. Obviously we've got a little show going on here as well. All these wizards. I reckon we're gonna jump on. I don't know. Yeah, let's just jump on. And yeah, let's check it out. I have to still add a lot of sound effects still and lights. Sound effects and lights are definitely still needed. Particularly here, it's just very boring. We'll make some kind of really cool really cool sound pieces. And some special effects as well, like some fog maybe. Yeah, it's just too silent in there. And here as well. I still love this section where you can see him running around. And then the mutated spider. Oh, it's just one of those things. I don't think I will ever remove it because it's part of it now. It's so smooth as well, I reckon. Alright, now we go in the tower. And then we pass the switch track. And here we're gonna go and see the little show that I made. And there's like a jump scare, I think that's really cool. Obviously it needs more sound effects as well. And now we're gonna go into the resurrection thingy. Again, is summoning the mountains or the terrain. That's really cool. And then, nope! It's sent where he came from. And then we go out. And that's pretty much it. That's all for this. So I reckon, yeah, it's just super detailed. We should kind of have a look at this sequence again. We have got my control panel. You can see how it works. That might be really interesting. I'm just gonna pause it, press play, and then I'm gonna close this screen like this. Now pay close attention to. So this whole sequence gets triggered when the coaster is just exiting here, exiting the tower, because everything needs to reset and becomes hidden. So I'll just show you. See, all the pieces get hidden one by one. So now the coaster comes through, and then you got the guy, you know, moving his arms, summoning the terrain. And he's being noped back into the portal, and then you go out. So yeah, you kind of start with the whole sequence standing like idle, and then when the coaster car comes by, it gets triggered. So let's I'll play this thing again. Oh, here it is. Let's just follow it, shall we? Goes through there, goes up there. Through there. There's a little trickaroo. And it comes out there. Ooh, camera skills. And here it's got this little show. And you can see the jump scare happening too. Which is pretty cool. Achoo. And then it goes back. Look how cool. And it dives into here. And it comes out here. See, now you saw everything just quickly being hidden as it comes through. And now you can see him doing his thing while the coaster waits here. So it's just one of those hold sections that launches either way, and it's just I used it to have the coaster here to make it sit here so you get to see the whole scene no matter where you are, even at the front or in the back. You get to see the whole show, and then the idea is that you get sent this way, and then you come crashing down here, like with the crazy speed, and then you either go inside here. Or you're gonna scoot along the water, maybe in here or somewhere in here. I still have no idea what I'm going to do, and as what I did here as well. Like I built all of this terrain and then I just designed the coaster around it, so it makes it look very natural in my opinion. And this whole valley here is just turned into like track everywhere and lots of terrain, and it's just really intricate. And obviously got the guests standing here, and I made a little looking through portal thingy here, which is pretty cool. Oh. So yeah, that's kind of it for this episode. I hope you all enjoyed the video. If you didn't, that's alright. The next video will probably be like, I don't know if you remember, I made the a video focused purely on this roller coaster, the water coaster. So the next video we only have to build a little bit more track, so from here we just maneuver it around here. Maybe over there might actually be cool as well, and then just go under here. That'll be cool. Just go like under here and then come up here somewhere. So the next video I'm just gonna finish this. I'm not gonna do any more big shows. It's just gonna be crazy fast roller coaster action with loops and rolls and all that sort of stuff, and integrate it with the terrain nicely, and then have it connect right back here at the station. And that's gonna be, yeah, the next video pretty much. I'm just gonna be building that, and then I'm gonna show you a full coaster on ride. I will do lots. Oh, I just see a lot of track poking out here from the top. Whoa, this is such a cool photo. This is incredible. This might be a thumbnail for when I finish the Gardens of Bughylon or something like that. That'll be so cool. So yeah, that's kind of it. This Gardens of Bughylon is literally 1 or 2 episodes away from finishing, and as you can see, it's just incredibly big. It's gotten so intricate, beautifully integrated with the terrain. Probably some of the most detailed work I have seen in the game. It's super incredibly detailed. I've already said that. It's also beautiful, lots of levels, and yeah, I'm just super excited with how this turned out. And it's also just massive. Look at this. So this is all of Gardens of Bughylon, and the park border is just going here, and then going back here, and then I think it's just going back here somewhere. So it takes up almost a quarter of the whole park. So we've got the cool entrance here. It's just still like really nicely detailed. Bughy Wughy Wonderland, super cool. And then we got the little coffee place here. And I can't wait to finish this, because I'm gonna build another section here. Obviously we're gonna have to theme all of this. This will probably be an episode theming this. Probably chuck another roller coaster down or something like that, and we're gonna do some kind of fantasy area, or maybe even like I want to make a little toy world with the new toy box pack, because I've got some really creative and cool ideas with that as well. There's so many ideas, so much to build. With that, I'll say thank you so much for watching. Please share the video with your friends, because this YouTube algorithm is really affecting my long content videos, and people tend to just, YouTube is promoting shorts over long content, and with that my views are just cut in half. It's ridiculous. I've already contacted YouTube about it, so hopefully they'll fix it. Anyway, that's not for this video. Whoa, the coaster is going down there. Alright, I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.